The one who told us 35 per thousand are dying of the diarrhea have told us that 25 per thousand are dying before the age of 5 of lung problems.
Because of the smoke inhalation over those 5 years.
We're giving them safe water. And so we trust that and are sure that we're doing something about that terrible number of 35 per thousand dying. I won't be around forever, but the love of working to make your life better can be around forever.
Welcome to Compassiviste Dialogues. I'm Ali Horiat. My goal in this program is to educate our audience about various social and environmental issues and how we can help. Today, I'm excited to speak once again with Dr. Robert Lange in Tanzania this time among his beloved Masai. Bob, who was a guest on a previous episode of Compassiviste Dialogues, is a theoretical physicist from Harvard and pursued his postdoctoral research at Oxford, then transitioned to teaching for about a little over 40 years. His story with the Masai began at the intersection of such teaching opportunity as a visiting professor at the University of Dar es Salaam in 1986. In 92, Dr. Lange founded the International Collaborative for Science, Education, and the Environment, ICSEE, in Massachusetts. Our other main guest today is Kieslowski Mitsuko, the director of ICSEE Tanzania, which is the same international collaborative, but the Tanzanian arm. And he is the project manager in chief of Masai Stoves and Solar, which we will learn about on our journey today. Originally from Salela. One of the impressive facts that I've learned about Kieslowski is that he is one of his father's 84 children. 84 is you heard right, everybody, 84. He's been to the US twice, once to study solar electricity systems and once to participate in the Tanzanian delegation of the Young African Leaders Initiative, which was launched by then President Barack Obama. Today, we're going to join Kieslowski and Bob and a few other people along the way around areas in which the International Collaborative functions. We'll see Masai homes and other interesting spaces, interact with the community a little bit, and get a better understanding of how we should be involved in surrounding the Masai people with their causes. So without further ado, welcome Kieslowski and Bob again, our guides on today's journey into the world of the Masai.
Thank you, Ali. Thank you, Ali. Our pleasure to be here.
Great. Let me start with the spaces we're going to visit. They're going to be the office, which is where we are right now. We're going to visit a pond, which is the water source of communities. We're going to visit Masai homes. We're going to visit an animal feedlot. And we're going to visit a women's empowerment program. So we're going to see all of those spaces together with Bob and Kieslowski. And to start, this is the place that grabbed Robert's heart. So Bob, what made you settle in this region? And what makes you so dedicated to the Masai, being so far away from your roots, your upbringing, and culture in Massachusetts?
Well, I was at the Brandeis University in the United States as a fairly active but normal physics professor, but I was very politically involved. And I took a sabbatical, a year visit as a visiting professor at the University of Dar es Salaam, where I was a physics professor there. And it was a good year. It was a wonderful year. I had a motorcycle and a hut on the beach and a job at the university on local salary. And I had a great year. But the chairman of my department, Mohammed Bilal, who was from Zanzibar, said that the president of the university, the president of the country said the university wasn't doing enough for Zanzibar. So he and I started a science education program in Zanzibar, partially based on my experience with American primary school science.
Mm-hmm.
And while I was there, I started working with Zanzibar women. There was a group called the Zanzibar Women's Corporation that wanted to start businesses for women, dig wells that wouldn't be briny. And so I started helping them, but I needed to raise money. So I started the ICSEE in 1992 in order to have an American charity through which I could raise money for Zanzibar women.
Okay.
But while I was there, a British woman who lived with the Masai said, Bob, come see how these people live. Come see how their homes are unhealthy and smoky. Because I was interested in stoves and getting smoke out of houses. But I came here to Arusha back in, when was it, 2006 or 8?
Yeah, 2008.
2008, I visited Masai homes and I said, oh my God, this is no way to live. Their little houses are horribly smoky and unhealthy. Little kids are getting burnt on open fires in these tiny little unventilated houses. So I said, well, I was really enjoying finding myself having a chance to be creative. Happened to be in Tanzania. It could have been somewhere else. And then here I was in Masai land looking at this horribly unsolved problem of unhealthy houses. And I enjoy the creative opportunity and I enjoy being in a place like Tanzania. So I went to work on that. I said, Zanzibar can take care of itself. Let me see if I can help the Maasai women have houses that are healthier and better for them and their children. So that's how I got started. And I know I'm a theoretical physicist. I'm not an engineer, so it took me a long time to figure out what a stove was. And I needed a translator. And the British woman who introduced me there said, hey, you better hire this guy Kieslowski. So there was this young Masai man who's now sitting with me here 15 years later, who I hired as my translator. And then from there, my helper, and then my manager, and now he's my boss, essentially. So that's how all this began.
Okay. Interesting story. So now that you've introduced Kieslowski better, and he's been around for 15 years, I want to take you back a little. Let's go before meeting Bob. What is Masai? And I want to hear a brief overview of what it means when you call yourself Masai, or when you want to explain what it means to be a Masai culturally, and beyond well-known facts, beyond the garb, beyond the clothing that in the West and other parts of the world it's been popularized, and there's a culture around it. A lot of brands use the image essentially to promote that. But aside from that, what is Masai to Kieslowski?
Thank you, Ali. Yes, Masai is a tribe. It's among of the very famous tribe in East Africa, and it's tribes where the people are available in Kenya and in Tanzania, and it's one of the nilotic groups that have moved here from the northern part of Africa, especially Nile zone. In early 17th centuries, and they're famous on their strong culture and the customs, and on the way, also on the way they dress. The Maasai dress differently. They wear so-called shukas, and they have beautiful jewelry around their necks, and they also they are livestock keepers, they're herders, and that is what they do, and they have very strong culture, and they live. Their job is divided among the age set. Like the women, they have their own responsibilities, and men, they have their own responsibilities, like taking care of the cows, do little business like selling the cows, buying and selling. But also the women do cooking, collecting water, and the firewood, and take care of the kids. And it's a tribe that I can call that they have their own government. They have
Mm.
leaders
Mhm.
that like Guananis, and they know how to solve their own problems. But due to this new life where they have got mixed up with other tribes, they have to live in a so-called countries where they have to follow the government laws and regulations, but they have their own regulations, traditional regulations. They solve their problems. They know what everyone is supposed to do in the community. So it's a complete, it's a tribe that have a complete government um, uh, regulation, but it's one of the famous. Everyone knows the Maasai, and they do cows. They move their cows to look for grass and water.
Mhm.
So they also is one of the group that we call the polygamy groups, where one guy
Right.
can in a number of
Yes. Well,
them.
that explains the 84 siblings that you have, because I was not assuming that to be from one father and mother.
Yes, my
That
father
would,
has
yes. So how many wives did your father have?
9. My father has 9 wives.
Yeah, he has 9 wives. Okay. And so
Yes.
basically the women have their homes and they live in each one has their homes and their children and live in those homes. Is that how it works?
Yes, each woman has a house, a little teeny round house, and they live in a settlement called Boma, where they
Boma.
several in that settlement, and also
Mhm.
the cow stay there at the middle. The houses go around the corral,
Okay.
the corral. So, and you will see today. We will show you. We'll take you through the Boma, and
Okay. So
yeah,
when we get to the Boma, you can explain the culture and the lifestyle when we get there. Now,
yeah.
fast forwarding your childhood all the way to recent, your role in the ICSE is now, like Bob said, in charge, the boss. So, um, what what do you do as a day to day? If you give us an example, you wake up, what are the activities that you have to do to support and manifest the ICSEE Tanzania to be able to bring the support to your own community?
Yes, as Bob says, and as you introduced me as the director of ICC Tanzania, um, I'm the manager of all the projects that ICC Tanzania uh, operate. We have about 5 to 6 programs where we'll take you through 5 of them,
Mhm.
and I'm the one who in charge, who supervise all of the staffs that we have to run these programs. And I also work some time with Bob to do fundraising, because our work depend on raising fund. And but mainly we go to field, and also we talk to our staff who are on the ground.
Yeah,
And,
one good thing is that Kieslowski and I really enjoy together is we do engineering together because
Okay.
our solar work, our water work, our stove work is a constant engineering issue trying to improve things, and we
Mhm.
both we collaborate on that with
Right.
great fun.
And I know from our previous talk with Bob, you explained in the last episode how it took you several attempts and iterations to grow the stove, to perfect it, so to speak, from the initial version that you manufactured to the one you've manufactured now. So everything's a kind of work in progress. Now, aside from Kisioki, um, do you have staff, or is it volunteer based, or do you hire people from the Masai, or is it volunteers from overseas coming? How does the infrastructure work there?
Yeah, we have people. We have people from the community. They don't have to be only the Maasai, but sometimes we welcome volunteers, but mainly we depend on our staff, permanent staff, where we have about 17 staff on ground who help us to run our programs in the villages that we work in. So yeah.
And we pay good salaries. We believe in good salaries. People who are doing good work for the community should be paid well. You shouldn't have to always think of good work as volunteer.
Right.
So we provide good jobs for the staff, and Kieslowski has to manage that staff and does a good job with that.
But for the stove program, we train women to be the stove installers in their respective. And up to now, we have over 300 women who are stove expert installers.
Wow.
And yeah, we once we get more.
So basically, you manufacture the stove in your factory, and then you give it to these 300 women who go into the homes and essentially upgrade the home to the new version that is safe and secure and helps everybody.
Yes.
Yeah, in each village, we train about 10 or 12 women to be the experts.
Okay. Okay, great.
The whole point is one of the points is to get the smoke out. So you have to have a good chimney, and for a chimney to work well, it has to be expertly installed. And that was an opportunity to give women a chance to do this work, and they get paid a nice little stipend for each stove that they install.
Okay, that's lovely. And we'll see those on today's tour. So without taking more of your time here, let's move on to our first stop, which I believe is the pond, where we will see how the Maasai women collect the water and what you guys have done there to support clean water and safe water. So let's head on to the pond. I'll see you there. Here we are at the pond. Welcome back. I guess Kieslowski is going to take us through what the pond serves for the community and how the ICSEE have been able to support making the pond a space of safety and secure reach of water for the people. Hello, Bob. Welcome back.
Hi, Ali.
Hi.
We're going to visit one of our water sanitation plants systems. Yeah, so we'll walk over here with the women. Okay. Oh, we're gonna see where they actually get their water. So Kieslowski, take it from here and tell us what's going on.
Yes, here we are in Mbuyuni, one of the 7 ponds. We put our chlorination system, and just briefly, this is the village where the only way they can get water is through dams, through the harvesting rainwater. No pipes coming from rivers or from the lakes. So the water they've been using before we brought our chlorination system were really not healthy for their lives. But now with our system, they're getting clean and safe water. So we are here in Mbuyuni, and we will show you one of the ponds that we have put our system, which run by solar with gravity, and people get clean water. We'll show you the ponds. We'll show you how we treat it, and we'll show you how the women get water.
Okay, perfect. Let's do that. And while you're taking me there, can you tell me what unsafe water is and what diseases come from there?
I can't really differentiate the different diseases that are caused by dirty water, but according to the DMO of Monduli district, he told us 4 kids of 1,000 kids die of age under 5 died with waterborne diseases. So there is several diseases caused by dirty water, and we try to clean all of them. So
Making it safe. Okay, let's go look at the pond.
yes.
So then we'll go up and look at the system.
Yes.
Okay.
And the pond. So,
And the pond and the system, yeah.
so here is just outside the pond, and they have fenced it because there is wildlife here. There's elephant, there's zebra, there's buffaloes, who are also starving with thirsty during dry season. So sometimes they try to come these areas to try to find water. So the people have put the fence to chase them away. So and the mamas will just collect the water from outside the pond. They don't go to the pond nowadays because of our chlorination.
Yeah, we want to show you the system itself.
Okay, let's go ahead and take a look at the system and the pond and how water is collected by the Maasai.
We'd like to do that.
So here is they just see. This is the faucet. This is where they collect the water. It's like 10 meters from the pond.
Okay.
And it's outside so that the women don't go to the pond anymore to put the bucket into the pond. So we'll take you to show you the real system, how it works.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, we can explain the system. There are
Okay.
many ways to make water safe, many ways. And people are trying different kinds of technology. But we've gone back to very basic kind of technology that's used all over the world. And basically, it's a two-stage process. Here we have tanks that are filled every evening using a solar panel. And this is the battery in the solar system. And this is a normal solar system. So these two tanks are filled every evening. And then alum is put in them, a chemical that settles all the solid material out. So there's basically it's the two-step process, no matter how fancy it is. First, you have to get the solid stuff out. And so that's done here every evening. Then in the morning, valves are opened and the water that still has bacteria, but it's clear, gravity feeds down to that second tank down below. And there, the chlorine is put in to actually kill the bacteria. So you get the solid problems out, solid stuff, the silt, then you kill the bacteria. And basically, in most American cities or anywhere in the world, a version of this is what's done. And when we discovered that the two chemicals you need, the settling chemical and the bacteria killing chemical, are imported and available and very inexpensive. Once we realized that, then we just stick with the most reliable, well-known technology anywhere in the world. And it's just this two-stage process. That in the morning, you put the chlorine in that tank, and within half an hour or an hour, you gravity feed it down to those faucets where the women can actually collect safe water. So it's a simple system. Here they have 3 polluted ponds.
And as you see down there, Ali, is where the problem is. And that's why we're doing all of this. I don't know if you can see the color of the...
Yes, it's brown.
Water. Brown, almost red, but
yes,
the color is not a problem. The problem is bacteria that are inside that water.
Right.
Before we brought our system, the women were just going all the way. It's like you go down almost 15 meters to get to that water. So we brought a very simple system, as Bob said, where there is now a solar pump inside that pond, where the battery here, as you see,
And
which is charged by a panel
panels up there.
on the roof here. That is the power that run the water from the pond to this. And as you can see, they just turn a switch here, and after a few minutes, you'll
have water coming out of there because it pumps water through there. Okay. And how much does this cost, Bob? Like from start to finish to install one in your
chemicals cost nothing. The chemical, well, there's the water coming up from
I see now.
55
there you go. Okay.
Per family.
Yeah.
Okay.
To install the system costs about $35 per family, but that's a one-time expense.
Right.
So $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 one-time expense to put this whole thing in, and the solar system and everything. Then, as long as you have a real good manager like this guy, and you help him out and stick with him, then for pennies of chemicals that cost essentially nothing, 160 families can have 40 liters a day each of clean water. Now they can other 40 liters of dirty water if they want to, but they have 40 liters a day. And the head of medicine in Monduli district told us a couple years ago, 35 kids per 1,000 in Masai community die before the age of 5 of waterborne disease. And that's what we're trying to tackle. But it's very hard to do longitudinal health studies. We've never proven that we fixed that. All we know is we're giving them safe water. And so we trust that and are sure that we're doing something about that terrible number of 35 per 1,000 dying. And then another, God knows how many sick, you know, and having trouble in school, and their mother has to care them all the time. So we're really tackling a very important problem.
This mama, they've been telling us, the women, that now they're experiencing their kid not having diarrhea. And they understand the source of it is because now they're getting clean and safe water. Because
Masai, I was going to ask you that. I was going to ask you that. I was going to ask you if you could, with all the people around, if you could ask one of the women, what difference this made in their lives, to hear it from them, how your pond affects you. And maybe you can translate for us.
Yeah, one of them is coming, and there's a big change. And as Bob just said, this system, which is serve about 160 families, cost us $5,000 to install it. And managing it is not expensive. This guy here,
it's basically self-managed at that point, right? I mean, it's managed within the community. So that's the best part of it. You don't have to have an American come in like Bob and fix these things or manage them or anything like that, or repair them.
Yeah. So one of the mamas is here, and
hello. Okay, I wanted to ask just how has the water treatment facility affected her life, her children's lives, and the community she lives in, and what does it really mean to her in terms of learning to use the technology and the advancements in her life?
Tumepata faida ya kuchota maji kwa urahisi kupitia mabomba, na maji yanachujwa, tunakunywa kwa usalama. Hatupati tena, tunapata dawa ya kuwachuja wadudu na maji kung'aa. maana mwanzoni tulikuwa na maji ni machafu, alafu ile uwezo wa kuchota maji ilikuwa ni ngumu kwa ajili ya hizo pampu kukute zimegoma. Sasa hivi ni sola inaleta maji, tunachujiwa, tunachota maji kwa urahisi na ni maji masafi, tunafaa kwa kunywa na kwa matumizi.
Yeah, what she's saying is now, first of all, now they're getting water easily. They've been, before they were using a lot of power to climb the hill here and go down and fetch the water. Now they just go to the faucet and open and they get the water. But
yes, because before they had to actually go where you showed me into the water and with the bucket essentially pull the water out. And now it's an easy faucet process. Okay, that's one part.
One part, and the other part is now they're getting clean and safe water, which is a new thing in their life, but it's something that have changed their life, because even the kids now, as I said before, she repeated the same thing, that they are not experiencing diarrhea from the kids,
right,
as to do before.
Right. So that 35 per thousand unfortunate and unnecessary deaths is being reduced, and the mothers are feeling that in their communities, which is the blessing that you're bringing with this work. Thank you very much, and thank her for joining us here and explaining what this means to the women and the mothers.
Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome.
Yeah.
Okay, so next on the stop, we are going to move from the pond to the homes. And before we do, can you tell me two questions? The first is, how far are these women walking to come to the faucets?
Some walk like a half an hour, and some probably for the fastest. The far one is maybe 45 minutes to 1 hour.
Okay, so half an hour to an hour walk to get water.
They have donkeys, a lot of them.
Okay.
And they bring their donkeys every morning and take the 40 or 80 liters home in their donkeys, on the side of their donkeys.
Okay, right, yeah. And they carry them back that way. Okay, great.
It's heavy. Water's heavy. 40 liters of water is what? It's it's 90 pounds. So it's a lot of weight.
Yes. And in terms of safety, like you said, you have the fenced area in the faucet, so that's safe. And their walk all the way from their homes to the faucet, is that also a risk factor, or is it fairly crowded area that people don't feel that an animal is going to attack them? I mean, where you are right now, could a buffalo just happen to rush on you right now, or is it a safe area that you're?
Buffaloes come during the night for this area. This area is a sort of village where there's so many people living, and the animals, dangerous animals, don't like to stay in the place where the humans are. They only come at night.
Okay, so their journeys are pretty much safe. Okay,
yeah.
That's a good buy.
Really total safety in a place like this. It's very, very safe.
Okay, so let's go to the homes and take a look at what you guys have done and what a traditional home looks like and what a revamped home looks like, and we'll take it from there.
Yes.
Okay, so we have reached the Boma, the Masai homes now. That's where we're going to go see.
Yes. As you can see from my right side, you see several houses. That is what we call the Boma, and there's a thorn fence. So that is the Boma.
Okay.
Several houses.
Okay. Several houses is called a Boma, kind of like a neighborhood or a compound.
Yeah, it's a settlement owned by one or two men living together with their wives. That is a Boma.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. A compound type of structure.
Yeah.
What does the home mean to the Maasai people?
Yes.
I was asking, what does a home mean to the Maasai people? Is it just a place where you sleep at night and leave, or does it have some kind of value and importance culturally?
Not important culturally. It's a place you live. It's where you cook, where your kids live, and there's a small room for little animals like goat and the cows. That is a house, like that one, that is a
Right.
house.
Right.
And
So
it's owned
it's a dwelling place basically, and it's owned by one man who places a family in there.
Yeah, a man can have, several houses because
Right.
4 to 5 women, and each woman has a house.
And are the homes built by themselves, or is somebody hired to build the house?
Nowadays, they hire some people, but the women participate. The women
in building their own homes.
And women put the thatch, so it's only building the foundation is probably where they hire someone, but mostly it's done by a woman.
Okay, we're going to start with a house that we have not upgraded and then go to the upgraded version. Okay, let's do that.
Yeah. So Ali, in this boma, there's about 7 houses, and we're taking you to one of those houses, and as you see, is a little teeny house with thatched roof, no ventilation, only one door.
Okay.
And as you see now at the door, even the smoke is coming outside.
Yes, I can see that actually from here.
Yeah. So we'll come inside. Ali?
It's pitch black.
So you see, we're flashing. We're using our phone
Right.
lights. Yeah, as you see, this is a 3-stone fire.
Okay.
He's cooking at the middle of the house. In this house, there's a woman here with a little baby.
Mm-hmm.
And as you see, the smoke, for sure, it's not a help for this kid. And you see amount of firewood she used for this stove.
Right, I see that.
And here is where they keep their stuff, like it's a kitchen.
The cooking
stuff.
ware and okay,
yeah,
like a pantry.
And the house has 2 beds. There's a bed there that is for a woman.
Mm-hmm.
And here there's a bed this side that is for a man with cow skin. That what they use as a mattress.
Okay.
And you look on the roof. Just look on the roof. What the smoke does. And this is what have been going also to a woman or people who are living in this house for Lange. And now the fire is starting to.
The fire is clear now.
It's clear now. And yes, we're ready for your question. And this is what when we go to the house, we upgraded. We have our stove that with a chimney, and there's a solar that provide the light. So that what we just changed some more.
Okay.
Yeah.
My question for this house here would be basically, is it that all the homes are not upgraded because of the financial constraint, or are some of the families and the men or the women in preference of keeping traditional ways of living and not upgrading?
There is no Masai who like to, like other human being, they don't like to live in this situation, but it's because of financial situation. That's why they can't.
So if the
together.
finances were there, this house would be upgraded to be safe for the children, the women, and everybody there.
If ICSEE had enough fund, we could change all of this because they want.
Right.
And even
it's just a matter of money.
Today, they thinking we're bringing a change. We're bringing a stove and solar to this house.
Right.
So they were so happy, excited for us to come because they know that we are life changers. We're changing their life to be better. So it's just a financial situation to them and for ICSEE as well. We could do a lot to this community if we had significant funds.
You know, Ali, before we came 15 years ago, I think most of the women didn't think there was a good way to get rid of the smoke in their house.
Mm-hmm.
It hadn't occurred to them that that was something that you could really do. But once we showed that you could do that, they just got very excited. And every Maasai woman wants to get rid of the smoke.
They embraced it.
So, of course they do. This is awful.
I know. I can see that. And they were excited that you were showing up to help install a stove, right?
We were green. I came 15 years ago. Kieslowski was a very young man. I hired him as a translator. We had a meeting with a bunch of women in the village of Eluai. And I said in English, of course, do you want to try to get the smoke out of your house? And Kieslowski translated it, and they broke into applause. But they had never thought that that was where we should go. That was the direction to move. But once you bring the possibility, they immediately saw that their houses could be better. This is also a problem with burns of toddlers. These old fires like you saw here, like you see here, it's not uncommon for a toddler to fall into that. And you'll see when we get to the next boma. Our stove, you can't really burn yourself on the stove the way a toddler can get badly burnt here.
Right.
It's very
okay. So let's move on to the comparable and with the new stoves, and thank them for allowing us into their homes and allowing us to have a glimpse of where they live. Bob, as we're walking away, can you as we're walking, can you explain to me the function of the home in the sense of from what I see, it's a very small space, so they probably don't spend a lot of time in the homes, or do they?
It's an outdoor culture in many ways.
Okay.
One of the things I like about their culture is they're outdoors a lot. But these women don't want this house either. It's not just a stove. They want a 3-room house with a metal roof.
Right.
And a sitting room and a bedroom and a storage room. And they'll build a separate little house like this, but tinier to cook in. So but the roof costs $340. So they don't have. If you give them a $340 metal roof, they'll tear down their house. They'll go get more sticks and mud, and they'll get some people to help. They'll build a 3-room house within a week or two.
Yes, and I was noticing when you were showing me the first home is if it ever rains, they can't even cook because you can't make fire because the water seeps through. It wasn't really properly covered to be waterproof in a sense. You could see
it's a problem, and they have to replace the thatch, and that's a lot of work.
Okay.
And the thatch is full of little creatures.
Yes, that's
you take some of it down. Oh my God, you see worms and things you didn't even know could exist.
Okay, and now this is a home with a chimney.
Yes,
I see that from here.
This is one of the homes we've improved.
Okay, let's take a look. I see the chimney on the outside.
Can you see the smoke coming out of the chimney?
Barely, yes. Yes, I see it now. I see a little bit of smoke coming out of there.
Yeah,
Okay.
And that is the key. That is that what is very important to this, to our store.
Right.
And that's why installation and we make sure that getting outside the thatch is bricks and cement. Then on the top we put a metal chimney. So
Right.
you see from the thatch top to inside the house is built with bricks. And there's women who build this chimney.
Okay.
Okay, let's show you. And as you can see at the distance there, which will.
Okay. I see that. Now let's look inside.
Yeah, let's look inside.
Okay. What's that at the distance you were showing me?
Yeah, I was trying to show you that house. That is a tin roof house.
Yes, I see the difference.
The Maasai are trying to move to that
style.
Time.
The architecture is changing.
Yes, because it doesn't need a thatch, doesn't leak when it rains, and it's just a matter of money, as Bob said.
Exactly, it's all a matter of money. That was essentially an important question for me, because sometimes you go into areas and you think that you're coming in and it's just a matter of money, but there is a cultural barrier that doesn't allow the changes, or religious or spiritual or whatever it is. But here it's really a matter of despair. It's need. This is what they have. This is what they can do.
Yeah, never assume there's a cultural barrier to life improvement.
Right.
It's fine. Get back in your Land Cruiser and move on. But don't assume you're going to find that.
Okay, perfect. Let's look inside.
House, you can put in rain gutters and collect rainwater very easily because of the rectangular form.
Yes, you're right.
But let's just see this one that's mostly getting out from the chimney. The other outside the chimney. Ali?
Yeah.
Yeah, as you see, all of that smoke is coming from the chimney.
Yes. None of it is in the house anymore.
Yeah.
Okay. And take me inside so we can see the stove and the setup and how the whole ventilation works.
As even you see, there's no smoke.
Yes, it's clear.
No.
Yes, the entranceway is clear.
Yes, and there's a light.
Yes.
This is our stove. This is what Bob and I have brought to this community. And as you see, she decorated. And you see, she just put few firewood.
Mm-hmm.
And I put and we try to show you inside the stove, where there's a chamber here, where when the fire come up and burn the pot.
Right.
Get to this chamber and go around this way and this way to get to the chimney. There's a chamber here that is open.
Okay. Okay.
And it's very safe. You can even touch. A woman can cook.
It's very comfortable here.
Yeah.
No child gets burnt by being here next to mama.
Right.
And the chimney isn't too warm. It's brick and mud. And the women don't like the bare brick aesthetically. They always like to paint it with mud.
Okay.
So this is actually a tower that was built by the women who installed it.
Okay.
It's got a hole up the middle.
Right. That's what you were talking about in the office. You've trained the few hundred women who know how to do this.
Yes.
And if she's not cooking, what you see here is a
Right.
lid that she put to the hole there to cover to make sure that
Okay.
make sure that the smoke continue going outside.
Yes. The smoke goes in there, and no child can fall in from the top either.
Yes.
Perfect.
And the other thing is about solar. You see, there's the
Yes.
light.
Yes,
see-
I have light here, which you've installed. That's off and on. Okay.
You see?
Yes. And
That
that's
make it-
solar powered bulb.
Yes. We have a team of 17 people now who are expert to install this solar system. We have trained them, and this whole bomber, which has almost 10 houses, is powered by one solar system.
Okay.
And we'll show you it.
Okay. So you have a grid that basically supports the BOMA.
Yes.
Okay. So this compound is the upgraded version with the solar system and the stove.
Yes.
Okay, let's take a look at the solar grid so you can tell me about how you develop that and the cost of it. And again, thank you very much for letting us in your home and letting us take a peek around. Oh, you've got cute animals.
Electric center for this entire bomber in this house. It's powered by this panel on top, which is almost a 200-watt system. And as you see outside here, we have bulbs. And it is for security during the night. You need
it keeps the predatory animals away when there's light at night.
Yes, and then that way you see right here they just put corral for goat and sheep.
Yes,
those corral for goat and sheep, and they put near where there's light during the night so that they stay safe.
Right. Okay. And that's all possible because of the solar grid in here. And this is the equivalent of the power generator.
Yeah.
Okay. And this is used just for that? I mean, this whole building is just to get the power.
No, someone live here.
Someone lives here? Okay.
A special demand. The man has to have his main headquarter.
Okay.
And this headquarter, and is where there's a battery here.
Right.
There's a charger controller. And then there's a panel on top. And then this wire go underground to each of the houses. Just to show you.
Right, and that's how they have power.
Provide but they charge their cell phone here as well. As you see, this is the cell phone.
Yes.
Charger.
Right. Okay.
To charge the phones.
Right. So they can charge their phone. They have light. And okay, interesting. And this is fully sustainable because it's solar power.
Yeah, they might have to change the battery in some years, but this, as we know, this battery is 4 years old now and is still functioning well.
Okay. Now, can you ask one of the women who are there maybe how the transition from the old house to the new house affects her and her children? How can she explain what the difference has been to her?
Mama, Lino. Ama ide yuri hararo jigo lemelde. Kalau lo se rogo wini. Irwari yuri hore aba. Wo ka utofauti dana ranjara alaba. Okay, yeah. There's a huge difference according to her. Cooking now in the house that is upgraded. She's saying they don't have smoke anymore, and therefore for the kids.
So the difference is the safety to her. She recognizes that and appreciates that the new stove basically changes life. The kids are safe, the kids will grow. And looking back, I mean, the pond and this stove and solar panel that you have, those three upgrades by their own really change life from first of all the safety and security from predatory animals, second the smoke, and third getting burnt by the fireplace essentially. So huge upgrades to life, and of course the waterborne diseases that you've eliminated by putting that in there.
The number the same doctor gave us for lung problems, the one who told us 35 per thousand are dying of the diarrhea, told us that 25 per thousand are dying before the age of 5 of lung problems, various
because
types.
because of the smoke inhalation over those 5 years.
So that's 35 for waterborne disease, 25 for chest problems,
right?
And the total number in the unimproved areas is 75 kids per 1,000 dying before the age of 5. And counting all kinds of other complications and things.
Right. And that's really unnecessary because it's such a small and simple change and improvement. I mean, when you're telling me about the people who are able themselves to learn this technology and to manage this technology and have it in their communities, that's a real benefit, because a lot of times, when you look at helping, it's a matter of the continuous infrastructure, the continuous support. You'd have to, continually fly engineers in annually to be able to make adjustments and whatnot. But here you've taught the community how, I mean, it's basically the essentially teach a person how to fish instead of giving them fish. And you've done that. You've taught them how to fish, and now they can fend on their own. It's just a matter of being able to bring in the funding to be able to make these improvements for them.
Well, funding, but it's also, we go fishing with them.
Right.
You don't just teach them to fish and then go back to America. It's good to hang around, do some fishing yourself, and develop.
Well, you've been coming back, for decades. So obviously you must love fishing with them.
And as a general rule, teach everybody, make everybody an engineer, but stick with people and stick with your technology.
It's very
and
good
one
lesson.
of the biggest development work is people think they can drop it and go away, but no, come on, we're stay together.
Yes, that's a problem, and you guys are not doing that there, which is really something I applaud. And now from the home, the next step, I saw a few little goats out there, and I saw cows as we're leaving the other boma. You have also taken upon yourself to help with the feedlot because of the I guess climate change. I mean, that's where it happened, right? I mean, it's because of the environmental issues. Global warming is a reality, and it's hitting the southern hemisphere a lot worse than it's hitting, the northern hemisphere. And you being down there, I guess you figured out we need to support the herders and we need to support the animals. So our next stop is essentially the feedlot that you've designed and thought about, along with the food manufacturer and everything else that you kind of came about with. So tell me a little about that before we head on there.
Yeah, we're going after here. We're going to the feedlot in Mungere, and just an idea that have come up to us as something that we should do to show to the Maasai that you can do, you can continue keeping your livestock, but in a different way. Instead of depending on the weather or with grass and rain and water from the rain, you can bring or you can harvest the hay and bring to your cows so that they don't suffer.
Mhm.
You know, we've been experiencing the Maasai, their livestock instead of them to harvest, to get harvested by droughts. They've been hit very badly with drought
Right.
for 4 or 5 years. Every year, the Maasai lose, let's say, 30 to 40% of their livestock.
Wow.
So we just showing, and we're preaching to the choir. We're showing them that
Yes.
there's an alternative, and they should do keeping the livestock as a business, not as a traditional way of life. So that's what we're trying to show them. It's just a demonstration class so that everyone can do it, because they have cows, they have land. And what the feedlot need is cows, land, and food. And they have land to grow hay for their animals.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
So let's head over to the feedlot and take a look, and you can explain better as we get a visual perspective of what's going on.
Sure.
Okay.
Yes.
Next stop, feedlot. Okay, so we're back.
Hello.
And we are at the feedlot now.
Yes.
I see cows in the background.
Yes.
A lot of them.
Yes. So as you see, this is some of the cows that we're feeding them here at our feedlot. And we have to give them two kinds of food. First is hay. First is hay, and then supplement, and they have to get water right here. And we have water in this compound. And this, our feedlot is different with American open feedlot. Cows can move around, can walk, can even still get grass from the rain. As now you see, it's rain season. And yeah, and you'll see some of the men here who are coming to get some knowledge about how to feed the cows at the feedlot.
Let's take a look around.
Yeah. As you see, this is supplement. This is a mixture of three things. There's maize bran here. There is corn. There is sunflower cake.
Okay.
And there is corn cups. We grind corn cups and mix it with sunflower cake, mix it with maize bran to get a very good house supplement to feed after we feed the hay. So as you see there, this is hay. It's a grass that was harvested last year, and it's still a good grass to feed the cows. And we have a big storage here, as you can see right there. That is a big storage we used to keep our hay ready to feed the cows for 100 days. So the cows only stay here for 100 days to get this. They get supplement, and then they get water.
Okay.
So here, it's what we call our feedlot. And as you see the cows, they're enjoying eating the supplement.
Right.
They look healthy. Yeah.
Yes. And this is an open range area where the cows are comfortable. They move around, they walk around, and you have the feeding systems. And so in the droughts and in the dry months, they're not losing their cattle, basically. And it's healthy, and everybody looks happy. Everybody's eating.
Everybody's happy. And, once you got into this business, you become a house businessman. And this is good for it. Because, the cows, if you don't harvest, there's something will harvest it. If you don't harvest owner, there is drought. Will harvest it automatically. So, this help the Masai to get the money. That will help to, to change their lifestyle. They take their kids to school. They build nice homes to live. And,
It gives them the sustenance that they need basically to live a better life and to lead a better life through their herding. And you make the food yourself as well, right? You don't bring it in from somewhere. It's homemade basically.
Yeah, the reason why we make the food ourselves is, in order the cow man to make a good profit for fattening a cow, the food price has to be low. So we manufacture ourselves to bring the cost down so that the cow owner make a profit. And we buy supplement. We buy sunflower cake and the maize bran during a time where there is no one who buying it.
Okay.
When price is low. When there is not. Maybe Bob wanted to say something.
Oh, just that the maize bran and the sunflower cake are actually industrial waste. When you make sunflower oil out of sunflower seeds, you're left with the compressed thing, and that's called the sunflower cake. So it still has lots of nourishment in it, but it's kind of an industrial waste. And the maize bran is what you get when you try to make white corn flour. There's still nourishment in the stuff that's left over. So we're doing a very nice conservation thing by using these two things as the main ingredient in the cow food. Because it's industrial waste.
Okay.
Corn
So that's also helping the environment as well in that way.
And then you have to add a little bit of sort of, salt and vitamins and stuff, just a tiny bit. But we have the factory down to about 20 miles from here where we do all this.
Okay. And now the idea for the feedlot came about, obviously, from the effects of climate change. Can you please explain the effects of global warming there on the Masai community specifically, and the necessity of such spaces to ensure a thriving herding and farming community? Because that's what they do. I mean, these are herders and farmers centuries and centuries through. And you've told me this before, they are masters of herding when, before climate change essentially started becoming a serious problem. But now they haven't had the science or the knowledge to adapt. And you come in here and you're helping them adapt. Tell me a little bit about what the effects are that you've seen over the last 30 years and how you're making that change, and how much this change costs in terms of, the herders and the costs that you take on to be able to support them.
Well, what we're dealing with here is a rain-based economy, traditional. Now, obviously, we don't know exactly what the future is going to be as the climate changes. In the real world, climate change is bad weather. It's maybe going to persist. It maybe get worse. And maybe the weather's going to be further from what you need to depend on. So it's really about helping people realize that they're going to have to be creative. Climate change adaptation is going to go on forever. This is not something you do once. You don't fix yourself by adapting to climate change. It's a state of mind. It's a state of mind where you say, we need good weather, and we're not getting the weather we have used to, and we don't know exactly what's going to happen to the weather. So what Kieslowski and I and our organization is doing is introducing a kind of attitude saying, be creative. Let's think about life sort of in new ways. What is a cow, and how can we take care of them, and how can we get less dependent on rain? So it's not like we have some fixed, perfect solutions to anything. We've got a demonstration farm we've built, which uses boreholes and solar-powered pumping. So we're not using diesel generators, and we're not doing. So it's wonderful. We have a lot of panels, and you want some water, you throw a switch and you get water. So is that the final solution to anything? We don't know, but we're saying, look, Here's an example: get solar powered use of groundwater.
Mhm.
Someone asked me, is your groundwater sustainable? I don't know. How could we know that? But that we should start thinking that groundwater should be added to rain dependence? Of course it should. So it's sort of a mental thing. It's here for good. Climate change adaptation is from now on. And it's all about being flexible, being creative, being knowledgeable, having good organizations that support each other and make the most of it.
And you've been very creative with a lot of the things that I'm seeing, you guys are doing there with the solar power and such. Tell me about the cost of this area and the maintenance of it and what it brings to the herders.
Did you hear what he was?
Yeah. The cost of the feedlot.
Yeah.
Yeah. It depends on the area, but here we have about 12 acres land, and probably to put all of this infrastructure, it costs us like 25 to 30,000 US dollars to do
Okay.
all of this. Yeah, but
And how much does that support? How many cows do you support with the $25,000?
It is support up to 200 cows a year.
200 cows a year. Okay. And
Yes,
that's with feeding them and the water.
This is just a demonstration, and we've been having people from all over the place. I mean, the Masai land, from other districts coming to see this. I can say this is one of the only feedlot available in Masai land. So, because of what Bob have just said, climate change adaptation, and a lot of training is going on to the herders, especially the Masai, on how to adapt and how to thrive. There's a lot of organization now and the government bringing people here to come to learn how the lot operate and how you can start.
Yeah, so it's not 200 cows. That's how many cows you can feed there, but it's the dozens and dozens or even hundreds of people, institutions, who can
that learn, right?
To think in new ways. And if 200 cows get a little fatter as a result, that's wonderful. But it's not about those 200 cows.
Yeah,
it's about the future of creativity and survival.
Okay. And can you ask one of the herders there what how much the change has affected them, and how does this really support the benefits that they're seeing from this? What does it mean to them?
Okay. Unaangalia hapa unauliza kwamba hii elimu mnaipata hapa inawasaidiaje katika maisha?
Inatusaidia kwa sababu inatusaidia kwa kuendesha hizi ng'ombe, na imekuwa elimu kubwa kwa sababu sasa tujui manufaa ya ng'ombe na kesho tunawajaga mfugo huria.
Yeah. What Agustino is saying is that they now understand that you can fatten your cows even during dry season, and you sell them in a good price because during dry season there is no good cows, healthy cows at the market. But the knowledge is very important to them because it's new. They never knew that you can do this during dry season because they used to only leave their cows in an open area, in keeping them in a traditional way.
Right. So they're basically adapting to the technology and using it to their advantage. And this is bringing them obviously more profit, more security, and a better life through their herding practices.
Yes.
Okay, perfect. Well, thank you very much for the feedlot section. And thank you, gentlemen, for the little interview. And we will be moving on from here to head to the women's empowerment area to see how here you've helped the men, as traditionally Kieslowski told us, the men are the herders. And so this is why we see all the men gathered here with the cows. And we're going to go to the women's empowerment area where we will see the other part of what's going on. And I have a quick question before you all say goodbye.
Yes.
What is the difference in the colors? Is there a difference, or is just whatever color you choose? Because I see some people wearing red, some green, some blue, and I saw that with the women as well.
As long as the sugar like that one, or
Right.
this one, or this one, the color doesn't matter. But there is clothes that the man doesn't wear, like black, really black
Okay.
sugar. That
Okay.
or blue, black and blue. Those are
Okay.
for the women.
Okay, those are for the women. Okay, thank you very much, guys. Goodbye, and all the best to your herding. And we are going to leave the cows and go and see the Masai women and how the ICSEE is supporting their growth and development and empowerment. Feminism in the Masai area. Okay, so we're at the Women's Empowerment Center, basically. So Kieslowski, tell me what's going on here. What is this?
Yeah, this is a place this particular group always met to buy share to have meeting, but it's not a center. It's a village, and is a selected one of the member to be their meeting center.
Yeah, we have about 25 or 30 of these groups, and they each a place they've chosen in their area, in their village.
Okay. And what happens at these places?
So here you will see, they will show you how they've been buying shares. You know, they have a so-called village commercial bank. And every week they get for each member to buy a share. And at the end of the year, every member will take out what he have been investing in that bank. And they have a group business, and also some of these mamas or some of these women are our stove installers in this particular village.
Okay.
Yeah, from this bank, they give loans to their members. So if one of the women needs some money to strengthen her personal business, or there's a special problem in her family, so it's a little bank. It's totally run by them, and it's just to serve them. And they give each other loans, and they have rules about after loans. And then the other important thing that Kieslowski mentioned is they have a collective business, which holds together, and usually livestock fattening, which is wonderful. It brings them into a whole economic area that previously was reserved for men.
So this is, I would call it the Women's Community Fund, essentially, to support each other as a collective and to grow together as that collective of women.
Yeah, Maasai women are very helpful and loving to each other, but they don't have a tradition of forming strong organizations.
Mm-hmm.
So this is right. This is good. This is strength.
Right. This is taking that family bond and bringing it into the, say, so-called corporate world, and now but using it in a communal and loving and compassionate method, as opposed to bringing in the capitalist version of this system. Great. Okay. And before we go in and see what's going on in there and get into their meetings, can you give me a slight, real quick historical account from the time you've been around in the last 30 years? Were there such things before you came in and, essentially created these funds for them? Was there a community bank? Were women involved with finances? And how has it developed?
The idea of Vikoba's village community banks is very strong and very big tradition in Tanzania. We didn't start that at all. In fact, there's organizations, and there's an organization that helps people start them and advises them. but with cooperation of the Global Fund for Widows, which is a New York-based charity, we brought this to Maasai women.
Mhm.
So, but we did not invent the idea of these collective banks, and those don't always work, and they don't always are successful. Even our staff had one for a while, I think. But they've worked very well for these women.
Mhm.
And now some of the groups are still affiliated with the Global Fund for Widows. Some of them are independently organized with money that we find from other sources. But it's a long Tanzanian tradition, and not just Tanzania, probably all over the place. But to really use it with Maasai women to strengthen them in this way is new. And I
Okay.
met the chairperson of the Global Fund for Widows about 5 or 6 years ago. And then she and I started this, but now it's gotten big, and it's them and it's independent groups as well that are not so connected to the widow world.
Okay. So, do you guys want to go in and see what's going on?
Yes.
Let's do that. There we are. I guess that's the women's group. Hello, everybody.
Nationally. Okay, Ali.
Yes, I'm here. I'm listening. I'm enjoying the welcome and looking at the treasure box. That is the bank.
That is the bank.
Okay.
Yes.
So what happens today?
Okay. We have Ngakenya, who is she's a staff, our staff, and she's
Hello.
one of the people who work with these women. So Ngakenya, meet Ali from London.
Hello.
Hello, Ali.
How are you?
I'm good. I'm Kakenya.
Nice to meet you. Tell me a little bit about what's happening here today. What are you women meeting about?
Women, we're meeting about our group, which we have a box here, which is our commercial bank, community bank, that we used to stay 1 day a week and contribute some money, and later we can give other as a loan. And after 1 year, we have to give everyone what she collected with the profit that we make ourselves.
Okay.
Maybe I can show you a bit about what is here in the box. These are some of the books we used to write shares.
Okay.
This is a fish, a sign of fish that we say one fish is equal to 5,000 shillings.
Okay.
So if you see 2, it means you contributed 10,000 in 1 week.
Right.
And 1,000 are the emergency money for helping each other. And we can take and not a loan. This is for helping each other.
Right.
These are some of the, as you see, these are different books. These are from last year. And these are the new one.
Okay.
Here is where we keep money.
Okay. That's your deposit box.
This money is from fine box.
Right.
And this one is for helping each other money. I mean emergency. Right. Yes. And this is from our shares.
Okay.
And now we have 3 weeks from we started the another year after 3 weeks. Next week, we give ladies as a loan.
Right.
And 100,000 Tanzanian money, they will bring with 5,000 as a, interest.
Yes.
Because these are widows, so we don't need big interest
Right.
from them.
Right. Just to help them live their lives and organize.
Right. Yes. This is one of the projects, but we do have other projects.
Right.
Like keeping bulls
Mm-hmm.
as a group.
Okay.
That Bob helped us to contribute a half amount of money, and ladies contributed a half. Then we have bulls that we buy for the lower price, and later we sell for the higher price.
Mm-hmm.
The benefit we get from those bulls, helping ladies or widows to take kids to schools and build houses. Like the one here,
Mm-hmm.
we build from the profit
Yes.
we get. Yes.
Okay. With the new roof and everything.
Yes, because now we have shortage of grasses, so
Right.
we help keep environment.
Okay.
But the first project was stops, as you have seen.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Is where now we get money and eat a half and contribute a half here. And this money they get from here, they go and expand their small businesses as individuals.
Okay. Okay. So
Yes.
you're working as a community, supporting people in the community, supporting the widows in the community so that they can work and profit. And from what they make, they pay a certain interest back into the community fund so that this can go on forever, essentially.
Yes.
Okay. That's a beautiful, beautiful way to have a bank. Congratulations. And thank you for sharing that.
Thank you. Asante.
Thank you.
You're
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Yes, Ali, you hear.
This is a better banking system than we have in the West. It's more compassionate. It's built on support and help, and everybody transparently essentially works together to achieve communal goals that benefit everybody.
Yes, yes. And
Very nice.
you know, also encourage and push everyone to become an entrepreneur, because in order
Yes.
you to have to come to buy shares, you have to have an individual business. So all of these mamas, they have individual business.
Which is beautiful. I mean, you have over there achieved something that I can tell you in North America, we're still struggling to give women equal rights, especially at the level of entrepreneurship and coming out and playing in the traditional big boys club. So maybe there are lessons that we can take from here back home.
There's a lesson. There's a lesson.
Yes. Compassion is the lesson. Let me ask you, Kieslowski, after everything we've seen today, obviously Bob has really had some impact on life there in your community, in the surrounding communities, and hopefully in a larger capacity to more communities with the ICSEE Tanzania. What is Dr. Robert Lange's legacy for the Masai as a community? When you hear Bob, what do you think? What do people think of Bob there?
Sometimes he doesn't agree, but we think, and most of the Masai think, as a developer, he's a guy who have brought development to the Masai land. He's a guy who have brought positive change in this community. We have hundreds of Masai women who have, enjoying their life because of the resources, because of the knowledge that Bob Lange brought to the Masai land. Now they call him Babu of Monduli, grandpa of Monduli, because of all of the things he have done with us all. He have changed the life of so many people, include my life for myself. He has a big legacy here, and he has a big respect. People, when they see him, they know who is him. He's a guy who have brought, a lot of change to this community.
So his contribution is huge.
Yeah, without Bob, we could not do all of this.
I can imagine that. Yes, for sure. I can believe that. The technology that he's brought, the funding that he's brought to do it, the organizational skills, and like you said, affecting you on a personal level to be where you are today. And in saying that, what would be your long-term goal with the International Collective Tanzania? What is your ideal scenario? Where do you see yourself as you grow with the community and with the ICSEE?
Yeah, to continue doing what we're doing now, and even if we get people to support us to do more, we pursuing for that. We want to do more for these people. There is almost 2 million Masai around these areas, and they all need what we've been providing to these folks that you saw today, because their life is pure similar, and they all need all of this. We're getting, at our head office, we're getting new application, new invitation to new villages to go to do what we have done to the villages that we have, that have our women group, that stores, and even this is the only area that I have a feedlot in the Masai area. So they need
so everybody's word of mouth travels fast, and everybody wants the good work that is here to spread throughout the Masai society.
Yes, definitely.
Very interesting. And I guess a question to Bob in the same aspect. What is your wish for the Masai? What would you want the future of the Masai to be?
Well, I always say that what I've done, or what I'm doing, is organizing people to experience the joy of working together to make life better. That's all you can do, is for people to realize, and I think that's what's sustainable. People realize that it's a joyful, rewarding experience to work together to improve your own life. Then they'll never turn away from that once they feel that. So these women have felt that. So that's all. I want to leave behind that sense of, this is the way you can have a good life. This is the way you can have joy, is to organize and make your life better. And also, in a very clear way, Kieslowski is getting more and more involved in fundraising. I mean, fundraising is not the most fun thing in the world, but more and more money is coming to ICSEE Tanzania through the outstanding leadership of Kieslowski and others. And they realize that getting resources directly to them rather than through me or through America or through the other places is needed for the future to continue the opportunity to bring this kind of organizational happiness to these folks. And, never doubt that people want to work together to make life better. Never wonder about that. They all do. Everybody grasps that. So I'm just really happy that Kieslowski and our other leaders are finding ways where we get the money directly here, where the people are more and more saying, "Oh, we're never going to stop this. This is a new life." The culture can include working together to transform culture. It's what changes culture that makes culture important. So I won't be around forever, but the love of working to make your life better can be around forever.
And it will be. It will be. There's nothing that is going to kill that. That is a universal force, I think, love and compassion. And without that, we wouldn't have a universe. So it will always be around. And thanks to people like you, that force and that momentum keeps growing. In this space of your work, I remember going through the spaces and remember the figures, the sums and the dollars that you were suggesting, or Kieslowski was suggesting, for the upgrades and all of that. And I think, we're talking about relatively, when I mean, you're American. When you think of going out to a dinner in Boston or New York, and you think of that dollar amount here, you're changing an entire family's home structure. I mean, the solar panels, the stoves, the feedlots, the water purification, all of that, when you divide it by one household, we're talking, $100 or so. We're not talking, $10,000 for a home makeover. We're talking minimal amounts in terms of that capacity. And I think it's really something to think the next time you go out for food or you go out for anything, to think and say, here's my $100 that will change an entire family's life. A child that may never make it, a child that could be Kieslowski in the future, who perished because of smoke inhalation. It is a reality, right? Kieslowski is here today out of luck of not being part of that 35 out of 1,000 kids, or 25 out of 1,000 kids who became statistics. He's here today because he was lucky then. But the children today don't need to be lucky. They have people like you who is coming in and trying to help. And we should support that, and we should make the difference, which is why Compassiviste Foundation will be campaigning to raise the required funds for the Masai to maintain their livelihood and culture in a world, I guess, losing its various colored threads bonded by inclusivity to a murky gray tone of mandatory uniformity and submission to the destructiveness of unsustainable choices that we have today. We cannot successfully fight the climate crisis alone. We must be involved compassionately, but the least we can do is support the people that we're hurting the most through our choices in the West, and through no fault of their own, suffering because of our bad choices, I guess, the best way to put it, our ignorance. And that's what we're going to do. We're going to try to make some wrongs right by supporting the ICSEE Tanzania as best as we can. And if somebody asks me what is the goal, I will say to make every single one of the about 2 million Masai people live in better conditions. And that should be everybody's goal.
That's it.
Yeah. So thank you for joining me on Compassiviste Dialogues again. And thank you, Kieslowski. And thank you to all the wonderful ladies and the gentlemen we met today, and for allowing us into their homes, into their lives, into their bank, and inside their vault. And for everybody watching, please support and protect social harmony. Until next time, thank you very much for being with us on this show. Bye-bye.